The buzz of the airport was overwhelming that morning. Rolling suitcases clicked across the floor, intercom announcements echoed, and travelers rushed toward their gates with a mix of exhaustion and purpose. Among the crowd was Michael Hayes, clutching the tiny hand of his 7-year-old daughter Emily. His clothes were simple, worn from years of long shifts. An old jacket, jeans, sneakers that had seen better days. His face was rugged, tired, yet softened every time Emily looked up at him with her big, curious eyes. "Daddy, do we have enough time to get snacks before the plane?" Emily asked, clutching her stuffed bunny under her arm. Michael glanced at the boarding screen, then back at her. "We'll have just enough time if we hurry, kiddo. But you pick only one snack, deal?" Emily grinned, showing the missing gap where her front tooth had once been. "Deal." Minutes later, with a small pack of gummy bears and a bottle of water, in her backpack, Emily skipped alongside her father toward Gate 27. To everyone else in that terminal, Michael was just another passenger, another parent managing the chaos of traveling with a child. But to the little girl holding his hand, he was everything. When their boarding group was called, Michael guided Emily onto the plane. The air smelled faintly of jet fuel and coffee, a mixture he knew too well from his past life. They reached their seats, 12E and 12F, by the window. Emily scrambled onto the seat, pressing her small palms against the oval window, eyes sparkling. "Daddy, look, we're really flying today." Michael chuckled, helping her with the seatbelt. "That's the plan, sweetheart." Passengers bustled past, stowing luggage and adjusting seats. A businessman huffed impatiently while scrolling his phone. A young couple whispered excitedly about their honeymoon. To them, Michael was invisible, just a weary single dad. Nobody knew the story hidden behind those quiet, steady eyes. Years ago, Michael Hayes wasn't just a father juggling bills and bedtime stories. He was Major Hayes, United States Air Force pilot, call sign, Falcon. The skies had once been his battlefield. He had spent countless nights in a cockpit, helmet on, adrenaline rushing as he soared at impossible speeds. His F-22 had been an extension of himself, a sleek, powerful machine capable of defending lives. But life on the ground was less forgiving. When his wife Sarah suddenly passed away from illness, Michael was faced with a decision no training had prepared him for. His little girl was only 2. She needed him more than the Air Force ever could. So he resigned his commission, hanging up his wings for good. He traded fighter jet engines for construction tools, long shifts, and the endless struggle of single parenthood. His paychecks were thin, his nights were long, but his heart was full, because Emily was safe. That was worth more than medals or missions. Still, every now and then, when he heard the roar of jets overhead, Michael felt a pang in his chest. The skies called to him, reminding him of the life he once lived, and the brothers he left behind. The plane rumbled to life, engines humming as it taxied onto the runway. Emily clutched her bunny tightly. "Are we going to go super fast, Daddy?" she asked nervously. Michael smiled reassuringly. "Like a rocket. But don't worry, I've done this more times than I can count." As the plane lifted, Emily's giggles filled the row. She pressed her forehead against the cool glass, mesmerized by the shrinking world below. For a while, the flight was ordinary. Seatbelt signs off, passengers adjusting, flight attendants serving drinks. Michael closed his eyes briefly, savoring a rare moment of peace. Then Emily's voice broke the silence. "Daddy, look outside." Michael leaned toward the window. His stomach tightened. 2 fighter jets, sleek, silver, and unmistakably F-22 Raptors, were flying parallel to the commercial plane. Their wings cut the sky with sharp precision. Gasps rippled through the cabin. Passengers fumbled for their phones, recording the surreal sight. "Are we in danger?" whispered a woman across the aisle. "What's going on?" asked another. Even the flight attendants exchanged uneasy glances. Emily tugged at Michael's sleeve. "Daddy, aren't those your planes, like in your pictures?" Michael's heart pounded. She was right. Those were Raptors, the same kind he once commanded. Moments later, a flight attendant approached Michael's row, her voice trembling but polite. Sir, are you Michael Hayes? Michael froze. He hadn't heard his full name spoken that way in years. Yes, he answered cautiously. The attendant's eyes widened. She held a note passed from the cockpit. The pilots outside. They asked us to confirm if Falcon is on board. Gasps spread like wildfire. Passengers turned, whispering. Emily's eyes grew round. Daddy, they know you. Michael swallowed hard, his past now exposed in the middle of an ordinary flight. The captain's voice came over the intercom, steady but tinged with awe. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a distinguished passenger with us today. Former Major Michael Hayes, call sign Falcon. The Raptors outside are here to honor him. The cabin fell silent, then erupted into hushed amazement. A businessman lowered, his phone in shock. The honeymoon couple clasped hands, whispering, "He's a hero." Michael shook his head humbly, eyes downcast. He had never wanted recognition, only peace for his daughter. Through the window, one of the F-22s rolled slightly, tilting its wings in a salute. The other mirrored the motion, a perfectly synchronized gesture of deep respect reserved for the most honored pilots. Then a voice came through the cabin speakers patched from the military frequency. Strong, clear, emotional. "Falcon, this is Talon. We've got your 6. Always have, always will." Michael's chest tightened. Talon, his former wingman. Memories of nights in the cockpit, missions over hostile skies, and unbreakable brotherhood flooded back. Tears welled in his eyes, and for the first time Emily saw her father not as just a dad, but as something greater. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice trembling with pride. "You're a hero." Michael shook his head gently, brushing her hair. "No, sweetheart, I just did my duty. The real heroes are the ones who never came home." The passengers around them grew silent, moved by the humility in his words. Even those who had never known the military could feel the weight of sacrifice. As the plane began its descent, the Raptors stayed close, escorting them until the city lights glittered below. Just before breaking away, both jets dipped their wings. Once more, a final salute. The cabin erupted into applause. Strangers leaned toward Michael, shaking his hand, thanking him. Some had tears in their eyes. The businessman across the aisle said softly, "I complain about delays and legroom. And here you are carrying a whole different world on your shoulders, thank you." Michael nodded humbly, his grip tightening around Emily's hand. When the plane touched down, Emily climbed onto his lap, arms wrapping around his neck. "You'll always be my hero, Daddy." Michael kissed her forehead, his heart full. Being strong doesn't mean medals or salutes, sweetheart. It means doing the right thing no matter the cost. Passengers filed out, but the memory of seat 12F lingered. It wasn't just a seat anymore. It was a reminder that among ordinary travelers could sit extraordinary stories of courage, sacrifice, and love. That day, a single dad in seat 12F reminded the world of a timeless truth. Greatness isn't about recognition. It's about love, sacrifice, and leaving the world better than you found it.